Hey everyone, this is somr54, better known as Ares 540. I'm bringing to you today Marathon Apotheosis. It's a game made using Bungie's Marathon engine, and today we're going to be doing an all main levels run on kindergarten. So let's get started. So we're doing all main levels because the any percent run actually ends 4 levels into the game. There was a bit of an oversight, and you can actually teleport to the end of the game. I'll point that out when it shows up. So we'll be playing our way through the entire game. The game starts with our ship being attacked by the Four. They are the aliens you see in front of me. They're the slaver race that are the antagonists for most of the Marathon games. And the first level will be just making our way through the ship, gathering weapons and supplies, and preparing to drop planet side. Next level here, I'll be able to explain some of the movement and some of the tricks that we'll be doing during the run. As far as weapons, this weapon here, the assault rifle, is got a primary fire and a secondary fire. It's going to be the most useful weapon throughout the whole run. Also picked up a shotgun, which is pretty nice for close range encounters. Second level here, not much to say about it. You're pretty much running from point A to B. These first couple levels, it's pretty hard to skip anything. So it's just efficient movement. Periodically, you're going to see me firing at nothing and clearing my clip, because there is no reloading since this is such an old game. So oftentimes you're clearing your clips ahead of time in order to have enough ammo for the next attack wave, or else performing tricks like grenade jumping. You'll also notice that I'm strafe running, which is faster because of square-based movement. So we're just running through the ship that's getting wrecked pretty thoroughly right now. Stepped on the spot that we needed to there. Just waiting for this door to open. And so while we're waiting, we're supposed to be defending the ship from hordes of enemies. Instead, we're just going to mess around for a minute. So for grenade jumping, you just look down and have a damage boost, and it's pretty useful stuff. You also see me looking up at certain points and firing up in order to propel myself down faster. So hopefully you can see what I'm talking about as I'm stepping up on these stairs. You can see that my character is going up and up again. You're not actually just taking steps up. The game is propelling you upwards, so we can use this to our advantage quite a bit when going upstairs or off ledges, or just getting enough speed to do grenade jumps. And we don't really need to fight these guys, unfortunately. We're just waiting for the door. This door, actually, it's possible to skip through, but incredibly difficult without use of the nail gun. Most clips in Marathon games, when you're clipping through a door or a window, you aim at the ground and you're damage boosting. But you're limited by the ammo you have, the kind of weapon you have, and the health you have. This is even like a sticky corner, and that's the kind of thing that we look for when doing a clip. Unfortunately, even if I was able to, I would probably propel myself into what's basically a storefront window, sort of this window dressing area where I would not be able to escape. Now that we're finally done waiting for that door, we'll be able to proceed with the rest of the level. And that's where the fun really starts. So story-wise, there are two AIs, human AIs, on board this ship. We spend most of our time talking to Daria, who is pretty stoic and generally helpful as far as AIs go. The other one is Noah, and just making sure I have the nail gun here. Noah has become pretty unresponsive, and Daria's trying to figure out what's going on with him. And so he's made his way down to the planet surface as well, and he's trying to, well, he's trying to do who knows what. Really, we're just trying to reestablish communication. So as the story goes on, we start finding out that he's interacting with some sort of computer nodes, or as we end up finding out, a sentient cybernetic species that end up being pretty helpful to us later in the run. So I just put a chip into the chip slot, and that was just a short jump to save a couple of seconds, but didn't work out. I put a chip in the chip slot. We're just bringing computer systems online, getting through defenses, and as the player, we are the boots on the ground, helping the AI out. Picking up some nail gun ammo there, which will be really useful in the next level. I'm going to safety save just in case. So this next jump is pretty tricky. This is a 180 backside fakie, thread the needle, and we got it. So we stepped onto the exploration polygon that is required in order level to be flagged as complete. So now that that's done with, we're going to skip the rest of this, I think 6-minute level, which is a long, boring switch hunt, and we're just going to go to the end. There happens to be a window that is pretty close to the end, and so we'll be there in probably under a minute. Ordinarily, I would fly up there using the nail gun, but ammo is a little scarce at points, and I just want to make sure that I have enough for some of the upcoming tricks. Now, ordinarily, the any percent run would end here, but we are going to finish the level the intended way because, well, as cool as the any percent run is, and as short as it is, I think it's a lot more fun to show you guys the whole thing. All right, so that window up there leads right to the end of the level. If you're sensing a theme here, good on ya, because it's going to be a reoccurring theme throughout this game. Now, the big thing here is that this nail gun doesn't damage you when you're boosting. And right there, I had to tap forward repeatedly to make sure my momentum was canceled. Otherwise, I would have flown through a window and halfway across the level. So while it's a fantastic tool, it also can get you in sticky situations sometimes. I apologize if this is a little confusing to watch. These are some very cramped corridors. We're on the wreckage of the spaceship that we were on previously, and currently we are trying to assist Daria in closing some security doors. Now, we're not going to do any of that, because as long as we get into the last area of this level, she says, "Oh, good job. You've done exactly what you need to do. You've defended the area." And then we can move on with our lives. Okay, that went pretty well. Sometimes that door can be very stubborn. So we just hit that circuit in order to open up the door, step on the exploration polygon, and we'll go to the starting terminal, and that's it. All right, this is Don't Step on the Momraths, inspired by an Alice in Wonderland, actually. The level is super atmospheric and creepy, and it's super cool. But we're going to be just making a beeline for the exit. A lot of this level is you wandering around in the dark, not doing much of anything. There isn't really any ammo on this level. There are some invisible monsters on the level. It's when we see the angels for the first time, which are the cybernetic and biological species that are you're going to find throughout the rest of the game. You might have caught a glimpse of something earlier. That is the assassin enemy that's introduced in this game. They are completely silent. They don't have any activation noise. The only noise they make is when they start slicing and dicing you with their Wolverine claws. And a lot of the level is kind of a build-up for this spot here, where he's been stalking you the whole level and drops in behind you. But if you already know he's there, it's not much of a problem. The assassins will probably be the most likely way that I die if I take a death during the run. Sometimes it's you get stuck right on top of them and they'll kill you very, very quickly. So at this point, we've activated what we needed to do here in the bottom of the ruins here on the planet, and now we're headed back up to the surface of the wrecked ship. And at this point, Noah is going to be warning us that we need to get out of there, that they're closing in and they're going to trap us, which they do anyways. Then after that, we'll be on to the escape mission, which is quite a bit of fun. Mostly because we get to skip half of it. This is supposed to be a fight, but we're going to skip that. Alrighty, and thankfully, we have the assault rifle right away. That was half the level. Alright, now on to the second half of the level. This area is very confusing. Apotheosis really likes to go back and forth between claustrophobic corridors and fantastic fights. Now I do have to be careful. There is a second assassin here. Sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't, and sometimes he runs off to who knows where. Okay. It's better that he's just right there in front of us. That makes it a lot easier to deal with. So we're just opening up a couple of security doors that we can progress through the level. Now we could stay for this whole fight, but it's much quicker to just leave. So now we're on to exploring more sewers. This one has one of my favorite level names, sometimes even Greek parakeets. Don't ask me what it means. I don't think anyone actually knows. And in true marathon fashion, levels have really, really weird level names. It is possible to skip through the big security door that we're trying to unlock here in the sewers. Unfortunately, we don't have the nail gun yet, since all of our items got taken from us earlier. So we're gonna run around hitting circuits and switches in more or less the intended order, taking just a few shortcuts along the way. There's another door at the end that is possible to skip through, but unfortunately it has the side effect of putting you into one of those window dressing areas again, and there's no way out of it. Now I'm just waiting to see if Herman is here to greet us. Herman is the lovable bug who waits at the bottom of the elevator for me. There he is. Sometimes he's not there. He wanders off. I don't know where he's gone. But I was glad we got to say hi to him today. So we got to complete our run through the sewers, pick up a chip, and then be on our way. I do have to be careful here because there are several of the beetle enemies. There are also another new enemy that's introduced. They can actually hit you hard enough that it's possible for you to clip through the terrain. And so if you get stuck against a wall, they can kind of stun lock you to the point where you're probably going to take a death. This is a pretty short level here. Omega devices for dummies. I didn't read the manual, so I'm just going to run through the level instead. Pretty short level, pretty straightforward. We find out a little bit more about the angels, and not much else to say about it. I am going to stop outside of this room to hit that circuit, because otherwise I would spawn a huge wave of enemies That would just slow me down. And after this, we're going to be, I believe we're going to, I want to say poor impulse control. And here's a teleporter that is something that we use throughout the remainder of the planet levels. Whoops. That was an instance where I should have cleared my clip just a little bit better before attempting the jump. And that's perfectly fine. So this jump at the start skips a huge portion of the level. We have to hit a switch and then run to the end. Quick grenade hop over here gives us this secret. The 3x health is nice, but the real reason we want it is because of the nail gun ammo. We need a lot of that ammo in order to perform all of the clips in this game. Speaking of the nail gun, we're about to get it back on the bridge here. Another really cool feature of Apotheosis is the bridge. I'm not sure if it's the absolute first time we see a bridge in the Marathon engine, but it might be. Nevertheless, it is very, very cool. Sniping that switch there saves me about 10 seconds. And we're going down to the bottom here to activate some computer banks. And there's the bridge. Okay, this is poor impulse control. And this is another level where, if you can guess, there's a window that leads into the last room of the level. So we're just going to rocket jump up the ledge, run down the hallway, and clip through the window. In order to get a good clip, you need to have a really good angle. The angle is definitely important, because if you get it wrong, you can sometimes be sent somewhere that you don't quite want to be. I gotta wait for the room to stop spinning there. I apologize if anyone watching is photosensitive to that sort of thing. You're going to be seeing it a lot. This level is the psychotic mess that is Meat Sprinkles, and is a super, super long switch hunt. But we're not going to do any of that. We instead are just going to clip through the lava-vator. Basically works like an elevator, but yeah, marathon games are just love swimming upwards in liquids in ways that shouldn't be physically possible. So we're just going to go to this lava elevator here and clip into the bottom of the level, skipping about 90% of the level. Alright, hopefully I end up in the first room. And wow, that was actually incredibly lucky. Usually, you end up in the next room that I'm about to go into. And that actually slows us down because we have to have another clip in order to get out of it, because that door would be locked. So we probably saved a good 15-20 seconds there by getting a really good angle on that. I'm going to jump across the lava pit here and make our way to the next level. So this is the salt pile. There's some really great skips on this level. I'll clear out all these enemies really quick as I go. Oops. Took the time to grab the 2x health. Grabbing the rocket launcher to do the jump that way is just a little more consistent than trying to do it with a grenade jump. And I'm pretty sure that this is the intended level, intended way through the level, because they give you another 2x for this triple rocket jump. So I think we skip half to 2/3 of the level with those couple of tricks. We've got to run through a few corridors now. In this level, we're learning more about the angels and what's going on. As it turns out, like the Sphit aliens from the original Marathon games, They are a genetically engineered client race of the Jero, or Yarrow, however you say it, who are pretty much the forerunner aliens in the Marathon story. If you don't already know, Marathon is the spiritual predecessor to Halo in many ways. We're just going to clip up into this cliff here, because that saves walking around, saves like 20 seconds or so. I had to tap forward on my keyboard there again, just to make sure that I'd stopped moving. Otherwise, I would have fallen into a bottomless pit that I would not be able to get out of. All right, so now that we've got the alien key card, we can do some cool stuff with it. All right, so this is because everything tastes like chicken, and in this level, we're supposed to be defending this sensor relay or whatever. This is an extermination level, and that means that we have to kill all but 8 of the enemies on the level. Now this would be really, really slow, especially because the enemies are, unfortunately on this level, released in waves behind these doors. I would love to clip into these doors and then kill the enemies ahead of time. Unfortunately, that will crash the game. And I don't know why, but I can't do it. What I can do is hop up into the enemy closets here and wait for the doors to open. There's one here, there's one across the way, and then there's one inside of that building. So I can hop up in there and kill these hunters that don't want to drop down for whatever reason. They just refuse to drop down. So you have to come up here and kill them. And once you actually eliminate all of them, you can finish the level early, well, earlier than actually... earlier than if you cleared out every single wave. Okay, that was a really good jump. That saves me a few seconds. Usually that's tricky to get. Now, since I'm playing on kindergarten difficulty, none of these enemies are particularly threatening unless I have very, very low health. I heard someone shooting at me. I'm going to go ahead and jump up into this closet here and wait for this to open. Okay, now we have to clear out, I think, one more wave. And once that is done, we should be able to try and move on to the next level ahead of time. All right, let's go ahead and try the terminal and see if it changes. This terminal, yep, and there we go. So we got out very early that time, so that's going really well. I'm going to safety save on this level just in case. There are some assassins that can trap me at certain points. This is a vacuum level and very difficult on Total Carnage because you run out of oxygen. I have to be careful not to double tap these switches or shoot them because unfortunately that soft locks the level. So we skipped probably about half the level with that little hop using the nail gun. Shooting that switch from afar saves time and avoids having a wave of enemies spawn behind me. I accidentally took some damage there I didn't want to take, but it should be fine. So I think it's around this point that Daria and the humans are trying to devise a plan to get back to the big human space station with all of the big guns. They also want to, escape from the 4, and in this level, this is Calm Horizons, we're going to be stealing a 4 transport ship. So that clip saves me, I think, 30-35 seconds running around through the first section of the level. So we're just running through the 4 station here in order to gain access to the ship. Then once we're inside the ship, we're going to have to hit a bunch of switches to set up the refueling and turning on some other things, like probably engines. I'm going to safety save because the assassins on this level can be really, really nasty. Just doing a little bit of grenade boosting. Whoops. Alright, switch number 1. And 2. Okay. Now that we got that, we can head to the basement for the other 4 switches. Now thankfully, for the assassins in the basement, they can be a huge pain when you're playing casually, but once you know where their spawn locations are, they're not too difficult. Since it's also 0G, you can just pop them up into the air and then they're basically defenseless. Alright, now we should have one. Yep, there he is. Sometimes he runs off and it really, really worries me when he does. There's nothing scarier than an assassin that is acting unpredictably. Alright, now that the ship is all powered up, we're going to go to the bridge and get out of here. It's a good thing nothing could possibly go wrong with this plan, and that the 4 couldn't use it to their advantage and use it against us. Oh wait, they did. Okay, just checking to make sure there weren't any fighters there. So now that we're back on the human station, we find out not only have the 4 shown up here because they put a tracking beacon on the ship, they are now hijacking our awesome robots. The game teases you, making you think that maybe you'll get to use one or something cool like that. But nah, they just steal it and you have to fight them. Alright, that clip actually saved me about 25 seconds. I just went into space and there's no window there, so we just shot the switch, and we're going to continue to abuse this level by a lot. For this next clip here, we're going to clip through this door because it's actually quicker than doing it the other way. Once we do that, we're going to go into the next hallway. Then we're going to clip out into space again because thankfully you can look out the window and then look into a window at a different point of the level, and safety save because this could go very wrong. And once we're outside, we'll be able to hop back in towards the end of the level. This saves several minutes of fighting giant mechs. In fact, if we get lucky, we won't have to fight any mechs at all. This window is susceptible for clipping through with the nail gun, although I had trouble with this in practice. There we go. Okay. I was a little worried for a second there, but we got it without too much trouble. We're going to run forwards to make sure we get that door opening. I guess I lied. We do kill this one mech. Let's just do... try to grenade jump. I'll actually wait a second. I want to have a little bit extra health going into this section just in case. This level likes to spawn in a lot of mechs behind you. Okay, we got really lucky and we didn't have one blocking our way. They really, really like to clump that doorway and make things difficult for you. Uh-oh. Okay. I accidentally bonked on the ledge there. So I gotta wait for this to rise up high enough to get on the teleporter pad. This is taking its sweet time. I'm not sure where I'm getting shot from. Okay, that took much longer than I remember it taking. Alright, we stood in front of the terminal so the game thinks we read it. Joke's on them, we're probably illiterate. Who needs directions anyways when you can just punch all of the switches? Alright, so this is Wireless Messiah. This level is super cool. Pretty much the general sends all of his elite troops at you, which is why they're a different color. And there's supposed to be like this assassin hit squad that's trying to take you out. At this point, we're trying to defend the station, disrupt the mechs, stuff like that. We've also gotten wise to the assassins, and they like to show up with regularity. But if you're ready for them, it's not too much of a problem. We also just picked up the super cool, I guess, I don't know, mega cannon. It's like a flame rocket launcher, and it's very, very good. And it isn't good for much, except dealing with ambushes. That guy never saw it coming. So, at this point in the story, Daria is trying to blow up the station. Because at this point, the 4th Fleet is very close to getting to Earth. And that'd be a huge problem. So we're running through the various sections of the station in order to set up a self-destruct sequence that she's going to initiate. And so she's going to make the final sacrifice and leave us behind to get out of here. I was really hoping I wouldn't take a death, but doesn't surprise me. If you misstep when you're getting too close to the assassins, that's pretty much what happens. So yeah, now interestingly enough, we are going to skip a bunch of stuff, and we're not actually even going to turn Daria off, but supposedly the space station still explodes. So I don't know, maybe she has a chance of escape, or maybe she's just gonna, you know, be awake watching the clock tick down, which is kind of terrible if you think about it. What is really nice is that we can clip through a door over here. This would be the spot where we blow up or shut down Daria as the self-destruct sequence goes. We're actually going to prime the final self-destruct sequence in the next level. Hopefully this clip goes smoothly. It tends to take a lot of ammo. Okay. Usually when you get kicked away from the corner you're standing in, that's a bad thing, but what I found with that particular clip is that it still works out just fine. So ordinarily we'd hit this switch, but this window is imaginary. So we're going to go on a spacewalk and jump through another imaginary window and go to the final level of the game. It is possible to clip into one of the final sections of the game and even clip through the door that goes to the secret developer terminal that takes you out. However, I'm going to safety save and not do that because it's a pretty difficult clip, it's unreliable, and showing you the escape sequence is also a really fun way to demo this for a marathon. Oh, got a little turned around down here. Everything looks the same. I'm going to slow down just a little bit more than I would normally. I stepped too far forwards in practice and paid the price. This section is definitely one of the most tricky sections of the run because if you try and take it fast, you are very likely to die. On Kindergarten, a shotgun blast will kill an assassin if you hit with all of the shots, and if the random damage spread is in your favor. So we just primed some of the engines, I think it was. Now we're running to turn off all of the plasma coolant. Plasma coolant chambers, I think is what they are. It's basically going to overheat everything and blow up the station. And then we have to break the final emergency switch. So all these fights are really cool, but we don't have time for that. All right, and we are going down to the final section of the game. This room's a lot of fun, and it definitely makes for a cool boss fight. But like a lot of things in Marathon, all that really matters is punching the switches and stepping on the right polygons. We're gonna navigate this little maze here. There's some deliberate turnarounds in there to trip people up if they're a bit panicked by all the alarms and stuff. We are going to, instead of just running around this entire spiral, we're just gonna, you know, warp to the top, because why not? Get our shotgun ready for these guys. And like every Bob everywhere, get me out of here. Time. All right, I really hope you enjoyed Marathon Apotheosis. Shout out to Hypersleep and Team Fenris. Shout out to Cassis and Cryos and Aaron and anyone else that I'm forgetting. Force Shark as well, who helped route this game. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you Starside.